All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time, calling it 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 p.m. Arizona time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter, and this is Chatter with Statter. We've got some folks in the house today. Darlene saying aloha to Mad Statter and Chatter crew, and we have a hype train? How did what? Hold on. All right. Shock in the house, letting everybody know when the house is opening. Rick coming in with a subscription for 50 months. Awesome, Rick. Thank you so much. Also, Rick saying aloha to everybody who's here. Terry in Scotland coming in with that raid train. Pinnell and Terry. I'm assuming Katie's aura might be all up in there as well, but I haven't seen her yet, so maybe she's not. The hype train came when Terry resubscribed. That's how we've got it going on. Awesome. What do you know? Darlene in the house saying aloha, but I think I already said that part. So, oops. Okay. And Pinnell giving alohas to the kitty kitties. Yes, even though I did not see him today, I heard Mr. Leo um, in my, in my closet while he was snoozling. So I know he was here earlier today. Miss Ashes is right here getting her ears scratched. And I'm sure Mr. Dusty is sleeping out in the backyard because that's his job. And it looks like we've got Terry giving in 1,000 biddies to keeping this hype train going. And you're right, Rick, I don't mention mountain time because I don't know of anybody here who who lives in mountain time. Now, if somebody does watch here for Mountain Time, then by all means, I need to update my situations. But the thing is I figure we mentioned Hawaii time because we mentioned Hawaii time, right? We mentioned West Coast time because that's where I'm at. And if you mention West Coast time, if you're talking about time, you might as well by default include the East Coast. That being said, all you Midwestern types never get your shout out for your time zone because it's always the West Coast and the East Coast, and then everybody else gets to do their math. Well, I decided to forget that. I got plenty of people in the Central Time Zone who need some Central Time love. And so I throw down with the Central Time Zone. Now, Mountain Time might need some loving, but I don't know if anybody here is from the Mountain Time Zone. And so I save my love until I know it's needed. And Pussycat in the house. Kitty reports. Sir Leo is in the house. Exactly. Precisely. And maybe trailed us. They may be west of us. Yeah, maybe. Well, it's hot. If anybody's here in the mountain time zone, by all means, let me know. I can change my way. I can try to change my ways. And Pussycat, by the way, good to see you. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody? Yes, I did. Mama Sean in the house on that there YouTube side. And I've got a kitty here who is really wanting attentions. And all right, so let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna get the party started so I can give my little black cat ear scritches. Boop. I am completely stupid. Are you kidding, Rick? I mean, seriously, how obvious is that? And how do I not have one? Rick's like, any need for a time zone map? And it's just like, well, of course there's a need for a time zone map. I do not have a time zone map. And I clearly love my maps. So how do I not have a time zone map? Yes, I definitely should grab one. And, Terry and Scotland are yep, that's true. Terry and Scotland and Katie Zora are both in the what is it considered the British Standard Time Zone. But alas, that international stuff gets confusing for me because the United States has its own daylight savings time rules that nobody else abides by. And let's see here. Pussycat, someone in another chat said that chatting is like having pen pals. I agree. Oh, I totally agree. I absolutely, yes, I think that's a really good analogy, Pussycat. And you think Mama Sean is in Mountain Time? Mama Sean is in Arizona time. And Arizona is its own, like Hawaii, doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So that's why I mention Mama Arizona, because Arizona's its. Well, and the reason why I mention Arizona is because Mama Sean is in Arizona and she's got her own, she's living in her own time oasis. Mama Sean is on her own time. Okay? Okay. And Arizona's still in the time zone. I guess that's true, but will I show Mama's on anybody besides Mama Sean in the mountain zone, let me know and I'll start showing you more lovers. But right now, I've only got so much love to give. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it looks like my little Ashes kitty has since calmed down and not looking for any more ear scritches. However, I'd be willing to bet that Shock has a cat that is looking for ear scritches and tummy rubs and belly rubs, which I guess is the same thing as a tummy rub, but different. Yep, there you go. And Mama Sean, yep, doing my own thing down here. Exactly. And you guys, speaking of doing your own thing, I threatened it. I told you I'm going to do it, and I did it, and I've done it, and I'm going to do it again. I decided that I was going to do my own thing and put Spam in a fruitcake. And it actually turned out way better than I thought it would. For those of you who have not been following the saga on my Facebooks, we have got, whoops, hold on. Let's go one more. Here we go. This is the, oh, no, don't do that. There we go. No, go backwards. All right. These were the fruitcakes before they went in the oven. Candied Spam pieces are on the top. And then this is them after the oven. And as you can see, the candied Spam pieces got a little bit overcooked. So I think next time I won't candy them quite as hard. And then they'll re-candy in the ovens on their own time. But this is what a cross-section looked like. You can see we've got dried cherries, we've got the Spams, we've got the dates, we've got the pineapples, we've got the dark raisins, the light raisins, and we've got the pecans. The pecans are a little bit too tiny for my liking. So the next batch, I'm going to put same amount of nuts, just bigger chunks. And then this was another cross section off of a different loaf. And so this is the craziness that is a Spam fruitcake. And I have to say, I'm really proud of this particular picture. I took that at work. It was my little coffee and snack. And yes, I have absolutely, yes, we have tasted it. Darlene, as you can see, there was four loaves. 2 of them have been eaten. 2 of them are in the fridge to be aged a little bit longer. The one that I had the first one that I had was the last loaf from the bowl. And so the ratio of fruit to cake was a little bit off. And so I don't know. So I didn't like that as much as the second loaf that I tried. The second loaf that I tried had a little bit more Spam essence as well. But the next batch that I'm going to do, I'm not going to candy the Spam as hard. So there'll be more Spam juice to infuse. And Rick, can you still taste the rum? Well, it's Captain Morgan's spiced rum. So, and no, not really. But the ones that are aging right now are being soaked in rum as they age. Whereas the first 2 loaves, they were just only 2/3 of a cup of spiced rum was used in the fruit mixture, but no other rum was added later on. So the ones that are aging, they're getting doused with rum every couple days and then re-wrapped. And so, yeah, bigger nuts, absolutely. Band names, Spam Essence. Yes, exactly, those, for real. The cake needs more Spam essence because, quite honestly, only a few bites are have a Spam essence. The rest of it just tastes like fruitcake. It really just, and I've never made a fruitcake before, so I inadvertently stumbled on a recipe that actually was really good. So even without the Spam, I will be making this recipe again. But I am trying to perfect the version with Spam in it because I actually have people who want to buy it. I have 4 different people who want to buy it. Two of the people who want to buy it, they just want to buy a loaf just to try it. They've never tried it before. But one of the people who's actually tried the loaf was just like, I want to buy 2 of these loaves for my December 4th family gathering. I want to, present it to them and blah, 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 blah. And so I have at least one person who likes them enough that she's willing to pay for the bread. So now I have to do the unfun part, which is part of my errands today. I had to get my prices on all my ingredients. And so now I have to do math and figure out how much per ounce everything costs so I can figure out how to charge properly for at least the ingredients. I probably won't charge for my labor, but I at least need to be reimbursed for the ingredients because shoot, dude, fruitcakes are not cheap. Dried fruit and booze and nuts are not cheap ingredients, right? So I at least want to be vaguely reimbursed for this science experiment that turned out quite lovely, actually. And yeah, you guys, who has been able to see the Northern Lights? Because I've been seeing pictures of the Northern Lights the last couple days from the Seattle area. And every time I look out my flipping window, it is cloudy and the clouds that covered the clouds. Those clouds, they brought in more clouds. And those clouds, they have a family. And their family is clouds. So I haven't been able to see the beautiful Northern Lights. And I'm much further north than Florida. So who here has been able to see them, their Northern Lights? It sounds like Pinnell and Rick and Darlene are in the same boat as I am. It's just like, meh, no, no pretty colors for you. And hey, Picola Tea, that's right, I am the fruitcake lady. And Picola Tea, nonstop rain in Hawaii since yesterday. Are they anticipating Northern Lights to be seen in Hawaii? I know that it's considered a huge flare that happened, and I know that in Florida they're seeing them. So and I know that it has happened in Hawaii before. I know it's not common at all, but let's see here. I got all the stuff to make chocolate chip cookies tonight, and just the chips and sugar and brown sugar cost $9, not including eggs. Right, exactly, Pussycat. Yeah, baked goods. I mean, baked goods used to be the thing that you could do if you wanted to give a cheap Christmas gift. And it's like, shoot, dude, home baked goods are probably some of the most expensive Christmas gifts you can give these days. With how much it costs. And Rick, you bring up a good point. Save money on the fruitcake, cut out the nuts and the fruit, and just go with the rum. There we go. And Terry in Scotland, I've determined that my Optimum hair conditioner is Philip Kingsley's bodybuilding weightless conditioner. It will be delivered today. Oh, fantastic, Terry. I actually came up with a different brand for you. It's a Biolage one. But I wasn't sure if it was available in the UK, and so I hadn't spoken to you about it yet. But yes, that sounds like a really good one. I really feel like you need a weightless conditioner, and so I'm very excited to hear. Have you tried it before, or just from reading it, did you think this was the one? Because if you haven't tried it before, I can't wait to hear how it works. But it sounds like you might have tried it before, in which case, dude, you're stoked. Finding a good conditioner is very difficult. And let's see here. Yes, Mama Sean, my Pacific Northwest weather is supposed to give us rain this weekend. Right, exactly. And if you think it's got rain to spare down there, think about the rain that it's giving us up here, right? Yeah, we're not getting no northern lights. We're just getting the southern rains. And let's see here. You missed Sunday's stream because Picola C says, because she was busy having a life with her cousins, walking up to the Makapu'u Lighthouse at the time. That sounds perfect. And Terry coming in, I just did some gooful research, and it seemed to be what the doctor ordered. It sounds like it is. And let's see here, Rick Rum. I missed Talk Like a Pirate Day this year. I all for rum and rum for all. Yeah. I miss Talk Like a Pirate Day as well. But what I didn't miss was yesterday. Yesterday was Nigel Tufnell Day. And for those of you who don't know who Nigel Tufnell is, you need to watch the movie Spinal Tap. And if you're familiar at all with Spinal Tap, you'll know that Nigel Tufnell is the one who has the amplifier that goes to 11. And so, on 11/11, it's always Nigel Tufnell Day. I had to explain that to my banker today. She's so young, she didn't even know what a spinal tap. She didn't know the spinal. She didn't understand any of it. And then I made the mistake of asking her if she'd ever seen Laverne and Shirley, because I was trying to get her to Lenny and Squiggy for Michael McKean, who did Spinal Tap. And Laverne and Shirley, she's like, "What is that? Is Laverne and Shirley a movie?" Oh my God. No, it's not a movie. And once again, I felt old. And I told her, wow, I feel old. And she was just like, well, I was kind of young when that came out. She's like, but what about Who's the Boss? I remember that TV show. And I was like, yeah, okay, I remember that TV show too, but that's just it's not what I'm talking about. And then I made the mistake of trying to tell her that, it's like, you've never heard Schlemiel, Schmazel, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. Doodle-a-doodle-a-doo-doo. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Give us any rule, we'll break it. And she just looked at me and I was like, we're gonna make our dreams come true, doing it. I was like, okay, yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about. All right. Because to me, that was one of the most iconic and recognizable theme songs, other than Sunday, Monday, happy days, Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. The Laverne and Shirley, Shamil, you don't, yeah. Okay. Talking to young people can be a challenge. 6-7. Yeah. I still don't really understand the 6-7 thing. I mean, I understand what it means. I just don't understand how or why, I guess, is what that boils down to. Or when the kids say, yeah, we've seen that on Nickelodeon. Well, yeah, that's a tough one, Picola T. I've never had anyone say that to me, and that does seem like it would be a punch in the gut. On the other hand, I would still feel better if they at least knew it. Because I know that they're younger, so they're going to be seeing it in syndication somewhere anyway. I don't expect them to actually have seen Fonzie jump the shark in his leather jacket on a lake in the Midwest during the actual broadcast episode at 8 p.m. like I did. But but I did expect them to have at least seen a rerun of it. And let's see here. Both those shows were theoretically based in Milwaukee. I never knew people like that, except for Fonz types. There you go. You can take a pirate ship rides on the river here. It's popular with the tourists. We are, after all, Treasure Coast. Pirate ship rides on a river makes way more sense than someone jumping a shark in a lake on water skis. Okay? I mean, first off, I understand bull sharks can go more than 1,000 miles inland up the river. I get it, but no. Okay? There's no sharks in lakes for Fonzie to jump while he's wearing his leather jacket on water skis. I don't know if you guys remember the episode that I'm talking about, but it was an episode that was so horrifically awful that it has literally become the catchphrase of when a show has reached its peak and gone beyond it when it should have stopped. It's called jumping the shark, and that's what happened when Fonzie jumped the shark in Happy Days. It was such a low point in television history that it became a term for equally low parts in television series history. And let's see here. Or when your kid brother describes older people in their 60s. Right. Yep. Exactly. But at the same time, though, you know, honestly, I mean, Picola T, no offense, but people in their 60s are old. People in their 50s are old. We're well into middle age, closer to the end of it. I'm not living 104. I'm 52 right now. I am beyond middle age. I don't plan on living to 104, so I'm already past middle age. It's okay to be older. It really is. You know more stuff. You've forgotten more stuff than most of those youngins have even learned yet. There's a point of pride to that. And let's see here. Puzzycat, did I see the lava shooting 1,000 feet into the sky today on the Big Island? It made a volnado. Yeah, actually, I thought that happened yesterday, but I did see that. I did see that happen. And, oh, it was hilarious to try and watch him and have him suck back his words. And Terry says, I am middle-aged since I plan to live to be 140. All right, there you go. You plan to live to be 140. Good for you. I do not plan that, nor do I want that. Not even close. And let's see here. So oh, I know what we can talk about. All right, so, and by the way, this includes a map. So, I was watching the YouTubes last night, and I happened upon this Honolulu news piece about the rail. And as it turns out, oh my goodness, who'd have thunk it? Once the rail actually went somewhere useful, suddenly people are using it. I know that this has been a long, drawn-out process for the people of Oahu, and it is a flippin' pain in the arse that it took so long. And it seems ridiculous, and it seems like a waste of time. But it is not a waste of time. Just, speaking as someone who had to go through this in Seattle, the long, drawn-out waste of time process, it is gonna be worth it. And just here, there's numbers to support.
The city's rail ridership is growing thanks to the opening of stops in key workforce areas last month. According to statistics released today, average ridership is now 3 times higher than before. Stephen Farino reports.
Ronald Bulukanen starts his new job in town next week, so he wanted to test his commute on Skyline from Eva Beach.
I figure I use the rail. It's if I look at it, time consuming because of the traffic. Yeah, it would be efficient for me because traffic from Eva Beach is pretty hectic.
Others took this day off as a time to just check out the ride.
We went all the way to the end and all the way back. It was good. We really had a good time.
It was really good. It's fast. But my coworker always talk about it, so I wanted to try to see how it is. It's pretty cool.
Regardless of the reason, more people are riding Skyline after Segment 2 opened in mid-October. According to statistics from the city, around 10,000 people are now riding Skyline every day, compared to around 4,000 before October 16th. Averages for October, about 3,800 a day before Segment 2 opened, and more than 11,000 a day after.
I ride the rail usually every day, Monday through Sunday, and looks like the service is doing good.
I'm not surprised because all these workers that come up to town that don't drive, they want to use this more efficient, faster for them to get here.
About 40,000 people took advantage of the free weekend on October 18 and 19, which boosts some of the daily average. But still, Skyline serviced 241,000 riders in October, more than double in September, the previous high for the year. Officials had predicted adding the stops at Pearl Harbor and the airport would cause a big jump in ridership. Riders have high praise for Skyline and recommend everyone at least trying to make it part of their commute if you can. Anything to help get at least one more car off our already congested roads.
For everybody, for those who are traveling, who are going to, especially those who are going to the airport.
It will solve some of our problems, the parkings and traffic. Not only that, but it's a beautiful ride.
Stephen Florino, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
All right, so there you go. Those numbers are phenomenal, and honestly, I'd be willing to bet that the officials who were in charge didn't even anticipate jumps like that. And so, if you're wondering though, where's phase 2? What's going on? I have a map for that, and that's the whole situation. So the blue part was phase 1, and the blue part basically went from over on the west side of the Eva Beach area to Halava, the stadium, just the stadium. But now it goes from the stadium all the way to Middle Street Transit Center, closer to downtown. And so it totally makes sense that, and it stops through the Pearl Harbor Memorial, and it stops through the airport. And so just the airport and Pearl Harbor alone for tourism reasons makes this way more useful. But getting people into actual downtown Honolulu, also beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah. And so this is a super awesome thing that I think is happening. And I can't wait to hear how much the numbers increase. But now that we're done talking about that, Puzzy, I'm so sorry to hear about what's going on in your family right now. So I'm glad that your sister-in-law is in the hospital. It sounds like still maybe, and yeah. So you talked to her today, and she's feeling better and having tests. Good. It sounds like she's exactly where she needs to be. Yeah, and as everybody was saying, blood pressure is such a huge ordeal. Definitely something that you need to watch and take care of, as it were. So let's see here. The airport stop should make it pretty useful once it makes Waikiki. Yeah, it's not going to get to Waikiki or Ala Moana till 2030 from what I read. So that's going to be a while, but even still, if people can start navigating, even still, I think that since it's coming to a different transit center, I feel like anybody who is remotely local bus service savvy will be able to get to the airport just much easier and quicker than buses and the like. But yeah, once it hits Waikiki or Ala Moana, basically, it is an absolute game changer for sure. I mean, yeah, the locals will wonder what they ever did before it. I really need everybody on Oahu to just take on faith what I'm saying, but once it gets to be in full use, you're gonna wonder how you ever lived without it. And I know exactly, that's what I'm saying, Darlene, but look at already the impact it's having. Just imagine the impact when it hits Waikiki. Exactly. I mean, and hey, Honda, so good to see you. You're talking like 10,000 people a day. That easily has to be, I feel as though you can sort of extrapolate, like, that's at least 2,000 cars off the road. Because let's just assume every car had 4 people in it. It doesn't. And those people had to get there to wherever they're going. So I'm going to guess, and yeah, sure, some of those people had already been taking Ubers. Some of those people had already been taking buses, but the Uber is no longer necessarily necessary. The buses obviously are still going to be, I don't know, I'd be willing to bet that those 10,000 people using the rail probably took 2,000 cars off the road that day. I'm very curious actually if there's a way to extrapolate that, you know, and actually figure it out. But easily you could say 1,000 cars, right? I mean, one out of every, so 10,000 people, one out of every 10 people, they would have driven instead of taking the thing. I think that's a really reasonable assumption. 1,000 cars off the road that day. That's awesome. I mean, I'm really making that number up, but at the same time, doesn't it stand to reason that number might be it's not too big of a number? Anyway, so yeah, so I wanted to show you some good news. Half those riders might have taken the bus. Exactly, but they still do have the bus routes. So exactly, Rick. No, I understand that a lot of those people who are on the transit were probably on other forms of transit. But 10,000 people, half of them would have been on the bus. Okay, cool. That's 5,000 people that wouldn't have been on a car, but that still is 5,000 people that might have taken the car. Now, for whatever, you know, let's just really lowball, you know, 20% of those 5,000 people isn't, I don't know. It seems like that's, you know, that's 1,000 cars. That's, I don't know. And see Honda at least 1,000 Toyota Tacomas off the road. Well, Terry, I'm just saying 10,000 people, 1,000 cars would be 10 people per car. Right. Assuming that every single one of those 10,000 people would have been in a car otherwise. But, I'm just saying, you know, people, you know, carpool, blah, 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 blah. I, on a conservative estimate, though, do think that 10,000 riders probably means 1,000 cars were off the roads that day. There was 1,000 less cars on that route that day. I know that the vision of 10 people per car is funny, but that's not really what I meant. But I have seen 10 people get out of a car, and it is funny, even when it's a limousine, even if it's not a clown car kind of thing. It's a limousine, right? You know, when you see a limousine, you don't expect 10 or 20 people to come out. But I was actually at the beach one day, and there was this, it's a beach in West Seattle that has a view of the Seattle city skyline. And chances are, if you've ever seen a picture of the Seattle city skyline with water in front of it, it was taken from that beach. Consequently, it is a wonderfully, hugely popular spot for wedding photos to be taken. So on any given Saturday afternoon in the summer, you will see photographers and wedding parties doing their thing. And this one time, I was riding my bike, and this limo pulled up, and I swear to God, dude, 20 people came I had to stop, and I had to stop and count. It was because it was like, oh, there's the bride, there's the groom, what the hell is going on here? And so I just stopped and counted, and there was like, I don't know, I think there was actually like probably 14 people in that flipping car. And it made me laugh. And I know I shouldn't laugh, because limousines, if they can fit that many people, then why not put that many people in them? Because that sort of defeats the whole point of a limousine to me. Limousines are supposed to be private and luxurious, not a clown car for your wedding party. And driving the freeways in Honolulu, I never noticed how many people were in the other cars. I was just trying not to meet them. Fair enough. I know that this is not a popular take, but I really didn't think that the traffic in Honolulu was that bad. In comparison to what we have in Seattle, it was par for course. It to me it was just like, yep, this is what a big city. Yeah, this is what traffic is like in a big city. Like it just is like, yep, it's not that bad. Right, Shock? I know, and this is a hot take that people do not like to hear, but it's like, yes, the traffic is trafficy. Yes. But meh. I will now, Picola T, I will give you that. I did notice that the highway lanes, especially the on and off ramps, were a little sketchy. I will give you that. The lanes do seem to be a little bit less elbow roomy, but as far as like crazy drivers, the people seemed saner, and just as regards to just like, yeah, okay, you know, this section is crowded, but it clears out later, or blah blah blah. I don't know. It really didn't. And granted, I will say this, and people did point this out to me. They were like, you were here during when school isn't in session. When school is in session, traffic is way worse. And I do know that from the Pacific Northwest as well. When school is in session, traffic is a whole other different animal than when school is not in session. So I'll give some credence to that, but I still feel like, meh, it really wasn't as bad as like, honestly, dude, the area around the Bay Area and Los Angeles is some of the most hectic flippin' roads. You know, you've got like 16 lanes across that you've got to figure out where your exit is, because your exit might be in the middle of those 16 lanes, and I don't know. It's just, it seems like I've definitely had to traverse way more stressful freeways. And we have an express lane on I-4, and I've noticed that they're having less traffic than the other lanes. Well, the express lane? Well, if you have to pay for it, that's probably why. And lots of people use this interstate to get to Disney and the attractions in Orlando. It's 6 to 8 lanes in Orlando, and the most dangerous. Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes, dude, yeah, when I was driving in Atlanta, actually, you know what? I wasn't driving in Atlanta. Now that I think about it, I was only a passenger, and I was so thankful for that. Y'all, some of these roads down in the South, I can't speak, but it sounds like Pussycat's got one. Atlanta has got freeways as wide as a flippin' town, I swear to God. So many lanes of traffic that are doing so many things, and so many... Yeah, there's a lot of places in the United States that I really would rather not drive in than Hawaii. Hey, Elaine, good to see you. And let's see here, Darlene. Yeah, we were there in April into half of May. We hit a lot of traffic on the roadways in Hawaii, especially during dropping off or picking up kids from school time. Atlanta, exactly. And Shock, Atlanta is scary. Exactly. I was really glad that I wasn't driving in Atlanta. And let's see here. I-4 is the deadliest in the country. Oh, really, Pussycat? Well, then, yeah, it's got tons of lanes, but Pinnell's coming in here. Ugh, you silly U.S. kittens. 6 to 8 lanes. 10 to 12 lanes. We got ourselves at the 401 has 18 lanes. Are you kidding me? Now, wait, is that 9 in each direction or 18 in each direction? Because we have 9 in each direction in the Bay Area of California and in Los Angeles. And I never really thought to double it with the other side. Oh, man. I hope to God, Pinnell, you're saying that it's 18 lanes total. Because if it's 36 lanes total, that's just scary. And yeah, time of day matters. You can hit the road after the morning rush and avoided the afternoon rush most of the time. Yeah, exactly. Okay, 9 in each direction. Okay, that is right. That is a size of freeway that I can envision. And Darlene, and in Chicago, that was bad enough for me. No thanks. The traffic you're talking about, geez. Yeah, you know, I've heard about Chicago as well, and I've never driven through there, and I kind of, you know, when I went through, I think it was St. Louis, Missouri, oh my, that was big deal too. They're really, you know, when it's nice and flat and you can just make the roads as wide as you want, they make the roads as wide, they make as many lanes as they think they need. And shock is I got to Chicago, bus, train, bus. And let's see, that was road work in Chicago that made it bad. Right. Avoid the 401 in rush hour late night is best. You know, you'd think that normally for most freeways, but honestly, having driven through the Bay Area as many times as I have, as many times of the day and night I have, it's always crowded. I was really confused because I came into Oakland one night, I don't know, it was maybe 10 or 10:30, 11, and I thought, like, since I was coming in at 10 or 10:30 or 11, you know, hitting town in my car, driving, I thought it would not be insane. But as it turns out, it was one of the most insanity-packed roadways I've ever had to traverse. I didn't understand. And when I got to my location in Oakland, my friend and all of her friends were like, well, it's like, why would you think at 11 o'clock at night there wouldn't be traffic? Like, that just didn't even cross their mind. Because apparently there's always traffic. I was under the impression that rush hour eventually ended everywhere at some point. Nope. And let's see here. You're looking forward to Truck Simulator. Chicago, Illinois is due out next month. Nice. And I was driven from West Town to Hyde Park, and that skyline view was impressive. I hear that little Lake Shore Drive or whatever is all about it. And be ready, Terry, says Darlene. Chicago was a nightmare to drive, and it also has the train right in the middle too. Right. Speaking of, okay, so Terry, in case y'all don't know, but I'm sure most of you do, he does American Truck Simulator, truck driving simulator, and so he's got various places that he acts like he's a truck driver and goes and delivers stuff. Well, Terry, I was talking to a cashier at the Safeway the other day, and he and somebody in line in front were talking about some video game, and I thought that they were talking about American Truck Simulator. So when I went up, I was like, oh, were you guys talking about that? And he was like, no, we weren't, but I know that game. And he was telling me that his neighbor, who used to be a real truck driver, that's what he did. He ended up injuring himself on the job so badly that he could no longer drive a truck, and he's disabled. And so now he is obsessed with American Truck Simulator. He's got the full gas pedal, steering wheel, shifting gear, the whole nine. He's got the whole setup, and he spends his day just playing American Truck Simulator. Even though he can't be a trucker anymore, he can still be a trucker. Oh, this is just the freeway. Lakeshore's on the other side of downtown. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't know Chicago. I might need a map one day to look at Chicago and ponder it. Excuse me. All right, well, you guys, it is exactly Lono listening break time. We are running exactly on schedule. I don't know how or why or what happened today, but this is what happened. So let's listen to some Lono. Boop.
Cool pete or my pet. Hello, my pohaku me ole na pohaku na alu me na pina Peluna vavai hope, peluna vavai hope, no hoi hoi ke hallelujah. Puki mai mamua, mahua kua mahope, au he kamaliu iho. Au he kamaliu iho I ka paka uru e mai Kapuana Ko pete hana apiki Oh, what a humbug Kelu hamai oyala Kelu hamai oyala Nohoi hoi ke ala nui e Aina mai kapuana No pete hana apiki Oh, magawaja humbug Kelu hamai oyala Kelu hamai oyala Nohoi hoi ke ala nui e
All right, there we go. Lono listening break. A little song about his pet, Ku'upete, a little donkey that was misbehaved. There you go. So, alrighty. Let's see here. What else we got today on the agenda? Well, let's see here. It is a little bit of a Whale Talk Wednesday, right? We'll just say. And this time, sometimes when I bring up whale talks, it's like, no. But no, this time it's something different. So, there is, oh shoot, hold on. No, that's not it. All right, so, as you guys know, if you've hung out here for any length of time, we have orcas in the Puget Sound, aka the Salish Sea. And we've got two different kinds. We've got residents and we've got transients, right? Now, I don't know if you remember, but residents and transients, they look an awful lot alike. But one of them eats one thing, one of them eats another thing. And only recently have they actually scientifically recognized through genetics that they're two different things. So we're going to watch this little video to remember what we already have learned, and then we're going to learn something new. So here's a little review over transients versus residents, and then there'll be more.
To the untrained eye, southern residents and Biggs orcas, also known as transients, may look alike, But whale researchers have known their differences for decades. Their jaws, calls, behavior, fins, and sizes are all different. Notably, bigs eat mammals and have plenty of food, while southern residents stick to less plentiful salmon, leading to their endangered status. A new study combines that knowledge with genetic data to argue each should officially be named its own species.
The scientific community that's finally caught up, and I think that's mainly due to improvement in genetic sequencing techniques.
Dr. David Bain with the Orca Conservancy is hopeful this could lead to more distinctions, listing southern residents as endangered. But most of all, he hopes it stresses the need for more action to remove dams, protect habitats, reduce air and water pollution, regulate fishing, and prepare for disease outbreaks.
What we really need to do is take a shared burden approach where we ask everybody to do a little bit toward their recovery, rather than trying to identify a couple scapegoats and make their lives miserable.
The Taxonomy Committee of the Society of Marine Mammalogy could make a decision this summer. If approved, both bigs and southern residents would get their own new species names. And the study argues that bigs and southern residents stopped reproducing thousands of years ago and are really on opposite sides of the family tree, Joyce.
Which is so interesting, because if they're so different, why were they lumped together in the first place?
Right, exactly. And so, just think about you or me who maybe aren't a totally trained eye. They do have similar markings, similar coloring, but, scientists have noted that even in the 70s, they knew that the animals didn't mix with each other, even when they were in the same waters at the same time. So they have just separated themselves, no contact there.
And separate species, as they should be.
So we'll see how that happens this summer. They're going to make that final decision in terms of taxonomy. So we'll see what happens.
And you'll let us know, of course.
Thanks, Joyce.
Thanks.
All right, Puzzy Cat coming in with a good question. Which pod eats dolphins and which eats salmon? It is the residents that eat the salmon. It's the transients, specifically the bigs transients, that we're talking about in this. And why am I making a distinction between the bigs transients and the what? The residents, we know the transients are different than the residents. We get it. We know this. We do. But what we've also just found out is there's more than one kind of transient. So the transients are the ones that eat marine mammals, i.e. dolphins, seals, sea lions, walruses, etc. But here's the deal. The bigs transients, they don't eat sea lions. They eat harbor seals. They don't eat the bigs. They don't eat, they're not the ones who are going after the sharks. Those are different kind of transients. And they've just now realized, a study has just come out from a gentleman in British Columbia, Vancouver Island, a whale researcher, who has determined that there are at least 2 types of transient killer whales on the West Coast. There's the inner coast transients and the outer coast transients. And if you'll notice, that's right, I have a map. So you'll see that the yellow areas, that's where the inner coast transients live. That is where you're gonna find the bigs transients. The bigs transients are the ones that generally come to the Salish Sea. They're the ones that have been confused with the residents for a long time, and now we realize, oh, they're not the same. Well, they're also now, and you can find them around 6 kilometers from the shore in shallower waters. They eat the smaller marine animals. But the outer coast transients, they're a completely different subsect of transients. They do not mingle with the inner coast. They are the ones that eat the larger marine mammals like the sea lions, the walruses, and whales. Do they polar bears? I'm not very sure. I don't think they necessarily know yet, because this is actually literally a brand new realization that transients aren't just like they used to think all orcas were the same. Now they're realizing all orcas are different. In this previous video we saw, that was when they realized, or they've being able to finally prove with DNA what was observable for decades, which is some of these whales only eat fish. Some of these whales only eat marine mammals. These are not the same. These communities don't interbreed. They don't hang out together. These are two different communities. Not only that, the ones that eat the marine mammals, their teeth and jaw are very different than the ones that eat shrimp, salmon, because they need to be. They've evolved due to their diet and their hunting. They just have evolved differently. And they're starting to find out that the outer coast transients also have similar dissimilarities to the inner coast transients, right? And they're finding out basically, oh god dang it, they're finding out that I had this all set up. So it's a new study led by Josh McInnes from the University of British Columbia Institute for the Oceans and Fisheries, shows that these orcas are two groups, one that sticks close to the shoreline and the other that roams the open ocean. His research reveals that geography and diet have shaped very different ways of life among these predators. The inner coast orcas are generally make up about 350 individuals. Those are generally the Biggs orcas. Out in deeper water, those particular whales have completely different behaviors. They patrol along the continental shelf beyond and up to 120 kilometers offshore. These larger groups take on big prey, including dolphins, elephant seals, gray whale calves, sea lions. This would be one of deep canyons, open horizons, and rough seas. The study found that these two groups rarely mix, and the separation isn't just about geography, it's about culture. Each group has developed its own hunting techniques and traditions, and because their diets are so different, they tend to associate only with others that share the same habits, leading to what researchers describe as social isolation between the populations. Occasionally, the two communities cross paths in areas where their habitats overlap, such as parts of the California coast where the continental shelf comes closer to land, but these encounters appear to be rare. And then what this guy's research also shows, but hasn't proven yet, is there's probably a third type of transient orca that only lives in the deep ocean water. And those sightings are rare and they're hard to study, but he's starting to realize that that the transients aren't just one group, they're definitely two groups. And they're possibly three different groups. And so, now you know. You learned something today. We've got residents, we've got transients, and we've got all sorts of different transients in the world. And Thomas the Turtle, good to see you. Now, as far as the Straits of Gibraltar orcas and the Mediterranean Sea orcas that are going with the yachts, I don't know enough about those populations to know whether or not they're considered transients, whether or not they're considered residents. I don't even know what those orcas feed on. So I really, all I know is they have it out for yachts. So that's all. That's a subgroup that is its own population because there are orcas literally found in all of the seas throughout the world. All of them are probably genetically different than one another, even though we up until recently realized or thought they were all the same. I think we're going to be figuring out that that a lot of what we thought was the same is genetically actually very, very different. And then as observable by diet, geography, culture, etc., etc. And Pacolati, same applies to human cultures. Our diets are hugely shaped by our geography. For instance, you won't find many vegetarians in Arctic areas. Now, Pacolati, I'm going to go out on a limb. If you find a vegetarian in the Arctic areas, they're gonna be dead. They're gonna be frozen. They're gonna be dead. It is what it is. There might be one, but he'll be dead. He won't last for long. I suppose that's not funny, is it? Anyway. But yeah, so yeah, or severely malnourished, exactly. And then they'll die. Because they can't keep warm enough. But anyway, so I just thought that was really fascinating, as you probably shouldn't be surprised because I love talking about the whales. And there was a map. So whales map equals, we're probably going to talk about it on the stream, okay? And so here we are talking about it on the stream. And so now you learned something else. And can they travel from Atlantic to the Pacific via the North Pole Ocean, Pussycat? Yes and no. I don't think any orcas have done that. There are Arctic orcas that are different, different than the West Coast residents and transients that I'm talking about. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Arctic orcas are the ones that make that trek first or already do. What I do know though, with my limited understanding, I do think that it's rare for the whales to take the Arctic route and go from one to the other. But I also know recently they have observed gray whales, or is it right whales? I think it might be right whales. Pacific right whales and Atlantic right whales are two different things. And they've noticed that Pacific right whales are making their way over to the Atlantic because of a lesser ice cover in the Arctic. I think that prior till recently, a lot of the ice cover in the Arctic prohibited whales from making that journey because they're not able to surface because there's ice and so they can't breathe. Fun fact, that's why narwhal whales have the horn, is so they can poke holes in the ice so they can breathe. And so I think with the melting Arctic ice cap, we will be seeing more West Pacific and Atlantic fishies making that journey. But I don't think that any orcas from the West Coast do currently. I would assume it's the Arctic ones that are already hanging out in the Arctic that would be the most likely to bridge that gap first. But this is all conjecture on my part. So, and let's see here. The Tomb of the Unknown Vegan is located in Nome, Alaska. That's funny. And let's see here. In school, I was told the Inuit had to eat raw caribou stomachs for their veggies. Lichen was the only edible that way for humans. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, and yeah, lichen would be their vegetable source. Well, either that or if they're coastal, any kind of maybe seaweed that might be around. And Pecola Tea and Terry in Scotland, thank you. They'll be here all week. Whatever happened to the left whales? There are a few of them left. All right then, you guys, you silly kittens, you silly kittens. And you know what? Speaking of silly kittens, y'all, I did something. I did something that I said I wouldn't do. And you know what? I might even do it again. But I did it once and I did it twice. You know what I did? Anyone want to guess what I said I wouldn't do, but then I did once and then twice? And it's not the fruitcake, because I said I was going to do that. Anyone want to take a guess at what I did again for the second time? I agree with you, Matt Statter. The climate change going on and thinner or lesser amounts of ice surfaces makes sense. There could be more whales coming through. Yeah, that's what they were. When I read about the Pacific orca or the Pacific right whale, or I don't remember if it was a gray whale or a right whale. I'm sorry, but it was the Pacific version of one of those whales has been found in the Atlantic. And they were hypothesizing that with the melting of the ice cap, that's gonna happen more often. And no, you guys, I would have absolutely been talking about another kitten from the get-go. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, no way. No, I didn't get another kitten. And Pussycat, Leo needs a girlfriend. Leo has all the girlfriends in town. He is just a sexy guy. I'm sure he has all the girlfriends in town. He doesn't. No, I didn't get another kitten. I mean, no, I didn't. I'm not saying, well, I did say I'd never get another one. No, something much sillier and stupid. What I did is I went to Pop Mart and I got another Labubu. I got another Labubu. So now I have two. The first one that I showed you guys, that one was purple. I don't remember which one. I've got them all boxed up. And then the second one that I got, you can laugh at me all you want, but here's the deal. Kenny from the Cove actually is kind of intrigued by Labubus now, only because the Utah hockey team has a Labubu that has it's all dressed in their jersey or whatever, and Kenny kind of fell in love with that, and he was just like, oh, this is really embarrassing to admit, but I might go buy a Labubu now. And yeah, blind boxes, but I've already opened this one, so I already know. But the first one was purple, and then the second one was blue. And oops, oh no. And I have to say, it is kind of the blind box aspect that is addicting me. Like, I really love not knowing what it is and then opening it and finding out what it is. Granted, it's not the one that I wanted. In fact, the blue one was the second to the last one that I wanted, but I will admit the blue one is very cute. Hold on one second. Sorry, little Labubu, you fell on the floor. Yeah, and so now I have two, and I don't need either of them, but that's the little blue boy. And, yeah, he's legit, he's real. And so now I have two Labubus, and I don't know what I'm gonna Ladoo-doo. But it's fun to go. It's fun to open a box and see what you get. And see, Honda, I prefer a kitty. Well, I can appreciate that, but kitties require vet trips, and kitties require foods. This is a much more cost-effective, immediate dopamine release kind of situation for, like, $30. One and done, it's all good. Or two, it's not one and done, it's two and we're through. 3 and I'll flee. 4 should get me out the door. And do the cats have a Labubu collection yet? No, in fact, they have not touched these. These are basically, for the most part, in pretty pristine condition. I've kept them in their bags and in their boxes. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna give them away to somebody because I don't need them. But I do. The one that I want, I do want one. I want loyalty, or happiness, and then the secret one as well. The secret one's worth a lot. Apparently the blue one is worth something too. I don't know. See, and that's where I don't need to fall down that rabbit hole. And let's see, you should see the Hot Wheels set I got yesterday. I got that Ferrari, $4.99, and the rest of the set for $45, a bargain price. Yeah, I don't know anything about that type of thing, but I can say that $45 for a full set of something Ferrari-ish, I don't know what I'm talking about, but that does seem like a good deal. I know enough to know that I don't know nothing, but that actually doesn't seem like an overpriced box of shenanigans by any stretch of the imagination. And, yes, exactly, Terry. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I want a little boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo right now. Well, if you wanted a Labubu right now, quite honestly, just about 15 minutes ago, I got a notification on my phone, And they're in stock at Pop Mart at my local mall right now. They even showed me pictures of them on the shelf. So if you lived here, you could go buy a Labubu right now. I know where to get one. And they've got them in stock. So there you go. Which, by the way, I don't know anything about anything, but I can only assume that the Labubu trend is maybe is sort of fading a little bit, because I have noticed that every time I go to Pop Mart, they're in stock now. Like they're not running out the way they used to. Like you used to have to get them from behind the counter because they went through them so fast rather than restocking the shelves. They just had them behind the counter. But now they actually just have them on the shelves. So, yeah, Darlene, I'm sort of surprised your granddaughters haven't either, because, and if they do, like, I'll send you these too. The boxes have already been opened, so you might not want to give them the boxes, but they do, they come in I've got the receipts, I've got the anything, like, but I know that you've got more than 2 granddaughters, so I don't know, like, kind of, once you do them for some, you got to do them for all. So there's that kind of thing. But if you only need 2, hit me up. I can send them your way. Actually, I was kind of thinking of offering to begin with, but I also knew that you had more than just 2 granddaughters. So, yeah, exactly. 4 granddaughters. Right. When you no longer need to know a guy, it's probably no longer a thing. Exactly, precisely. And Terry in Scotland, don't worry, I will be scoring some Wick Fowlers. And for those of you who are like, what is a Wick Fowler and why do I need one? Back in the day when we were talking about different chilies, Terry in Scotland kept having in his brain Wolf's 2-alarm chili. And I looked for it and it didn't exist anymore. But then he remembered and realized it's not called Wolf's. It's called Wick. It's called Wick Fowlers. And 2-alarm chili. And Wick Fowler's 2-alarm chili does exist. And so I'm going to buy a box of that as well to see if it's as good as the Terlingua, I don't know how to say that, kind of chili. And I also bought a can of chili today from Stag, I think, and it has no beans. So I'm going to be chilied out for a while, but that's okay. And let's see here. No, says Rick, please don't. They can rough it without them. Oh, how about baby? Ooh. But what if they need it? They'd be cute little Christmas tree ornaments. What if they need it? I think they might need one, Rick. But that's just me. All right. And speaking on behalf of their mothers. Well, but that's the whole thing, though. Yeah, exactly. What color is Habut Lububu? Yes, Habut Lububu is gray. Gray with tears of rainbows. Rainbow tears. And, well, you think they have to call it Terlingua chili because it's H-E-B's own brand. Wix is trademarked. Well, and it's a different, it's a different recipe. I know it's a different recipe because the recipe that you posted for Wix is very different than the recipe that it comes with the other packet. So they're definitely different. But what also I want to get the Wix one, and then I also want to get that one from Carol Shelby, and then the Terlingua one. I already have had that, and I know what that tastes like. So then I'll be able to taste test all the different chili brands, and I will be a chili aficionado, a Texas red chili aficionado. Because let me tell you, dude, whatever it was that I was doing trying to make chili, I just did not have the knack. So I'm just going to go buy the chili mixes, I think, from now on. It's really embarrassing to admit that. How do you not know how to make a chili mix? How difficult can it be? Do I have a chili score sheet? No, not yet. I'm a little disturbed that I hadn't thought to create one because I've got multitudes of chili in my cupboard already to test. Huh, yeah, I might have to do that. And they are different recipes, but you would be cool to taste test. Yeah, but the thing is I don't, now Darlene, and anybody who knows me, you know that ideally with a taste test, you want to taste test them side by side. But I'm not going to be able to have, in order to do that, dude, I'd have like gallons upon gallons of chili, and I'd just be a one-person taste tester. I'd be a one-person chili show, chili cook-off. So I'll have to do it at separate occasions, but... Ooh. This just occurred to me. I will make... Ooh, and I can... Oh my God, so many thoughts. I can make one of each, and then I can freeze a little bit of each, and then I can take the frozen ones all out so I can have it next to each other. I actually could maybe do a one-person chili cook-off, now that I think about it. And little did we know that I have a secret life as Pussycat the Mod on about 5 or 6 other channels that are associated with your hobby. That does not surprise me. I did not know that, Pussycat, but that does not surprise me because you are definitely like you take your hobby very seriously. And so I'm not at all surprised that you have ruling power over others of those who share your same interests. And let's see here, Terry in Scotland, I got a 1 kilogram bag of masa harina from Germany, made from Mexican corn. I'm gonna order all my spices with my next Tesco order. Nice. And you know, Terry, that you're gonna be poor because you did that. And I'm not like calling you poor. I'm just saying if you buy like more than one spice at a time, you're pretty much required to file bankruptcy because spices are so expensive. So if you buy more than one big old bottle of flippin' flirpin' spice, yeah, you're gonna have to take out some loan paperwork for all that. Now, granted, you'll have spice for the next 5 years and you'll be good, but it's gonna take a act of flippin' Congress in order to get you. You want to order 5 different spices? You might need a down payment on that. Are we going to have to do layaway? What's going on here? Yeah, spices are so expensive. And Shock is still trapped under a cat. And let's see here. Dr. Steve says to go to Mike's Chili Bar, northeast side of the Ballard Bridge. That is so funny. You said that because I was just about to say, now that I know a thing about chili, I need to go to Mike's Chili Bar up in Ballard. It is one of the oldest taverns in North Seattle. And so, yeah, for sure. If anybody who ever does come to Seattle, like, let me just tell you right now, I am never, ever going to tell you, oh yeah, go check out Ballard. Unless there's a really good reason. And that's a good reason. Mike's Chili Parlor. Mike's is all you need in Ballard. Because everything else about Ballard is not what Ballard used to be. It's all rich tech stupidity. But Mike's is what Mike's is still Ballard. Ballard used to be the Norwegian fishing village north of Seattle. It is now not. But Mike's still is. Oh, Picola T, Wild Thought. Invite friends to help with yard work or house repairs. Feed them a chili bar in exchange and hand out ballots. this works on so many levels, Picola Tea, because I need my gutters emptied. I need my lawn mowed. I need I need something. I need a dump run done. Yeah, dude. That's actually might be a good idea. Oh, Picola Tea, or excuse me, Penel, you had to feed starving Tareen just now. Did she turn her nose up on it, as per the plan? Feed me now, master. Feed me now. Yep, that's probably how you do it. And to spice up your chili recipe, just add Tabasco sauce. I don't think I've got Tabasco sauce in my fridge. I have Tapatio. I have the other one with the wooden Chihuahua or whatever, the one with the wooden knob. But I don't think I've got Tabasco in my fridge. You know, it would be in my refrigerator door, and that door has a lot of things that I don't know I have. But I should know, because they're right there. But there's just so many of them. And Terry, I already priced them at Tesco. They ain't so expensive. They have dehydrated onion and garlic too. The cheapest ground beef is 20 fat at $3.50 a pound. Aberdeen Angus ground steak costs twice that. Right. Yeah, no, and you know though, the thing is 80-20, 20% fat. Yeah, the 80-20 blend. That's actually really, that I like when making hamburgers. I really like 80-20 blend. Anything else is just not flavorful. And Cholula. There we go. And yeah, Tabasco on oysters. That's pretty much what I kind of thought that Tabasco sauce was made for, on oyster shooters and scrambled eggs. To me, honestly, though that's the two things that or maybe like in some kind of a Bloody Mary mix. But for me, Tabasco is all about on scrambled eggs with your oyster shooters, not my oyster shooters, your oyster shooters, and yeah, raw, and then maybe in Bloody Marys. Yeah. And Penel, I can get spices at Bulk Barn, lots cheaper there, and get just what you need. Nice. Yeah, see, I buy my spices from Penzies. They're super expensive, but they're also way stronger than what you can get at the grocery store. They just are more flavorful. So far, I don't have to worry about the lead content of my cinnamon, because the cinnamon that I get from Penzies is actually cinnamon, not cassia. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know that. Most of what you eat as cinnamon isn't actually true cinnamon at all. It's a different tree root. It just or bark. Tastes similar, but it's not the same. True cinnamon is really expensive. It's a lot paler in color than the most of the cinnamons that you get on the grocery store shelves. The grocery store shelves, actually, you're not even ever probably going to find a true cinnamon. True cinnamon is generally from Sri Lanka or Ceylon. And it's actually from the tree, the bark of the tree. It's a lot thicker, it's bigger. All those little cinnamon sticks, that's not cinnamon, that's cassia. Which it's fine. They taste almost identical, and it's way cheaper, so like no big deal. But technically speaking, just so you guys know, technically not cinnamon. And let's see here. You love Clamato, says Puzzycat. I think, isn't it called a Bloody Caesar when you make it with Clamato? I feel like that's what that's called. Penel, you're Canadian, and Canadian people are generally the ones who drink them, so maybe help me with this. And if you're disgusted by the fact that I said Canadians drink them, I will say British Columbian Canadians drink them. I cannot put that burden upon you. And it's a Bloody Caesar, says Picola Tea. Okay. And Penel says, yes, it is a Bloody Caesar. All right. And Darlene, if I haven't grown my own herbs and my spices like cinnamon, ginger, actual nutmeg, nuts to grate, that's how I do it. Oh wow, you actually my nutmeg, I grate my own nutmeg, but my cinnamon and ginger, oh heck to the no, I just have those ground for me. And let's see here. The Wix Fowler's 2-alarm chili recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of cayenne pepper for full heat, half of that for 1 alarm. The stuff is plenty hot. You put Tabasco with that, and you're asking for hospitalization. And Clamato is Canadian, so Caesars are too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that Clamato was Canadian. I just know that people in Canada love their Clamato. And I have noticed that Clamato is getting easier and easier to find down here in the States. And it sounds like in Florida, they've got it because, well, Pussycat's claiming his love for the clams and the tomatoes. Personally, honestly, I've never had it, so I can't say I don't like it. But I don't like tomato juice, and the idea of drinking clam juice. I mean, I like clam juice in clam chowder. I just don't know. Exactly, Picola Tea. There's something fishy about clam juice. Exactly. But you are right, Pussycat, coming in with the 2-minute warning. So, yeah, it's popular south of the border here too, the Clamato. So, okay, now, Mama Sean, what is it? Is it the chelada, the michelada? What is it called when they mix beer with tomato juice? Next question, is it tomato juice or is it Clamato the michelada? Okay, is that just beer and tomato juice or is that beer with Clamato? And don't need no clam pea in my tomato juice, says Terry in Scotland. And I get the cinnamon and ginger for Penzies already grated. Okay, but I have bought once or twice a good ginger paste ground from Organics. Ooh. Well, now that sounds like something I'd be like trying. And Picola Tea, depends on who mixes it. Okay. Pussycat, no beer. No, I wasn't saying that you were drinking beer. I was trying to figure out what the Mexican people call the beer mixed with their tomato, or if it's not tomato, is it clamato? Picola Tea, when you buy it pre-mixed in the can, because you can do that, at least at my stores you can. Is it just tomato, do you think? Or is it clamato? I suppose I could just read the ingredients, but if someone knows, by all means, just tell me. And Mott's Clamato, is it Mott's? I don't think it's Mott's, is it? Oh yeah, in the can you can either get spicy tomato or Clamato michelada. Oh wow, huh? Who knew? Picola Tea, as it turns out. All right, here we are, you guys. 1 minute left. We've learned that there is not just a resident orca, not just a transient orca. There's multiple kinds of transient orcas. We've also learned that Clamato is made by Mott's. We've also learned that a michelada can be made with tomato or Clamato. We've learned so much here today. All of it. Oh, church michelada. Oh, okay. See, I don't speak Spanish. We learned how to say it wrong and how to say it right. Michelada. All right, there we have it, Rabbit. We're learning so much today. So, now that we've learned some things and stuff, hopefully we'll see you on 6 p.m. West Coast time in the Secret Squirrel location of Map. Ooh, that was awful. Map Statter on Twitch. We're going to be watching Disc 8 of the Country Music History by Ken Burns. And that's what we'll be doing. If Andy Bumatai is around on Friday, we might hang out with him. But I don't think he is going to be around on Friday, so we're probably not going to hang out with him. Either way, Saturday, 6 p.m. West Coast time, History of Country Music. And then the week after that, we're going to watch Smoke Signals. All right, you guys, have a good one. Glad to see you here. Thank you so much for all the subscribes, resubscribes, biddies, gift subscriptions, but mostly, thank you for your chat.